microdose, yeah, microdose, 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 dose, microdose, microdose, dose, microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. Ooh, it's been a while. It's been like over a month. I know, guys. I'm sorry. I wish I could just blame it on work or one thing or another. It's it's the time-old tradition over here at the Bosnet family. Life gets in the way, and it's been getting in the way left and right. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes it's a very good thing. But we are here today, and it is that time of the year, y'all. The RedHead Days Festival is coming back to Tilburg, Netherlands. And with me is one of the organizers, Lisanne Peters, local by choice, international by nature. How you doing, Lisanne?
Oh yeah, I'm doing fine and lovely to be here. So like the RedHead Days are coming up, so I'm very excited.
Me too. I forget exactly when I discovered the RedHead Days Festival, but I remember like it being a whole thing, just trying to figure out how I could do that. I'd maybe only been out of the country once, and that was just south to Mexico. I had never actually crossed the Atlantic prior to that. So it took about 2 years to figure out like airfare and, like, do I really want to camp in the woods? No, I don't. I probably let's see what this Airbnb thing is like.
It could be worse. I mean, there's countries that have worse camping conditions, and the atmosphere at the campsite's amazing. So
outstanding. Listen, how long have you been with the RedHead Days Festival now?
Well, quite recently. Like I've only joined this year.
Okay.
I'm very novel. Like the first time I went was the 2021 edition, so like the COVID edition. I was like, I loved it. So I went again last year. I was like, I really like this. I want to help out.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's outstanding. How did you find out about the RedHead Days Festival in 2021?
I'm originally from the Netherlands, so I knew about it like since one of the first editions, and I had been planning to go for years. Mm-hmm. But like the dates, it never matched up, or I had something else, or I wasn't in the country, or I had like re-exams, and I was like, okay, I can go this year. I'm going to go after like a decade.
That's outstanding. Hey, it's never too late to get there as long as you get there. Again, it had been like, I think they had finally done a decade before I was able to get out there in 2016. But just like you, like I was like, this is wonderful. I didn't know such a thing like this existed. And then, came back in 2017, again, 2018, 2019. Would have came back in 2020, but we all know what happened then. So, finally happy to be coming back here. What can we expect from the festival this year? Those who have been before, like anything new that we're looking forward to, or?
Well, of course, like the same stuff, like the campsite, of course, the group picture. So this year there will also be like food trucks. So there will be a bit more choice. Of course, there's always the barbecue on the campsite itself. And there's also going to be like this amazing drag queen, Crystal Clear, with her whole crew. Oh. And we're going to do a like high heels stiletto race.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, there's going to be like a stiletto king and a stiletto queen. So everyone can sign up. Everyone's allowed to run. Your heels need to be at least 4 centimeters. So that's a bit over an inch. So like a bit over 2 inches.
Okay. Yeah, I remember them doing that in Breda, and folks were like, "You gonna try and do a Kush?" And I was like, "No, obviously I'm not." But also like, one, if I don't know, you can find a shoe that would fit me if I was comfortable with it. But two, you're running over cobblestones. You're just gonna crack an ankle immediately. It's shatter him even.
Well, like the time that they did it once before. That's right, and only one person fell, which is kind of funny because that's Mika, and she has been on the part of the organizers ever since. But no one else got injured.
Okay.
And of course, we've got the first aid cents on standby. So excellent. Fingers crossed, everything will go smoothly. No one will need first aid, but just in case.
Knock on wood. I understand the party this year is it's a new venue. Again, a couple of years ago in 2019, it was at this actual like concert club venue. But now it's a different spot.
That's it's like the big pop podium in Tilburg. That's where it was in 2019. So like this year it will be in the same venue as last year, only it changed its name. So now it's called the Hurricane, which is an amazing, lovely gay bar, and it will be amazing music. Like the atmosphere last year was brilliant. And we're also going to have the party at the end of the pub crawl there. So on Friday, there's the kickoff party, which will be in Hurricane. And then on Saturday, there will be first like the pub crawl. So everyone strolling through the city, a whole invasion of redheads in town. And when we've gone to all the pubs, we'll end up over in Hurricane again for the after party.
I am delighted to hear about the new name of the club. Also, one of the members of my tribe has been nicknamed the Hurricane. So that is, yes, we're going to have a lot of fun with that coming up.
Sounds like a dangerous person.
Can be under enough stimulation.
Someone believes like death and destruction in his past.
We'll see what we can do to keep him reined in this year, but I make no promises. And if something goes down, I'm taking a wide step to the left. And just
okay, well, like if there's people that are like misbehaving, especially like harassment, sexual harassment, this year we also have an emergency number in case that happens, which will be printed on the program and also on the pub crawl cards. Because like you never know what can happen, and we want everyone to be safe and enjoy themselves. So we're very happy that we have that in place, and hopefully we won't need it.
Wow, that took a left turn very hard.
Sorry, it's more like everyone should be able to have a fun time and a good time, and should be able to feel safe and enjoy themselves and do whatever they want without being feeling like that they can't be themselves, or that sorry, that's something like I've experienced that as a human myself, and I don't want other people to have that. So
no, I understand. I completely understand. I was just not expecting that to. Anyway,
sorry.
That's okay. We're going to come back to some redhead days in a second here. Let's learn a little bit about you, Lisanne. What do you do when you're not helping organize the festival?
Well, not much. Well, I mean, I go to work, so I'm actually a chemical engineer at some big pharmaceutical company. And other than that, I like to eat, so I love to go out to restaurants with friends. And just I've got this balcony that's full with plants, and I try to keep them alive, which is a bit of a challenge, but it's good fun. And that's about it. I'm not too special. No very strange hobbies besides killing plants.
No little redheads running around the plant yard there?
Yeah, no, like if my neighbors see some exploded red hair running around, they know it's me.
Okay, fair enough. Any hobbies? You go to movies? Are you a reader? You just binge watch Netflix?
I love to read books, and so there's an amazing library over here where I live. So I'm I go there quite regularly.
All right. The Redhead Days, it gets organized for like years at a time. Like I understand this year's festival has been being planned since 2021. I may have misheard that, may have misremembered it. But any bad ideas that got suggested and then immediately shot down? Like, no, we're not shooting people out of a cannon or anything stupid.
I don't think anyone suggested that one. No, like
thankfully.
I think some of the plans that we really want to do, but they're like not feasible yet. So that's why you try to plan a bit more upfront. So if you already start planning something this year that you're going to do within 2 years, you have a bit more time and a bit more like options to plan that. I don't think there's something too crazy that we're like, we really want to do this. No.
Okay.
Fortunately, not. Sorry.
That's okay. I remember the speed meeting event is a lot of fun. Are we still doing that this year?
Yep, that will be on as well. So it will be in one of the tents, and it will be with the cards, and then people just asking questions and just all the random answers that you'll get. Like the standard items will be on there as well. So we've got the tents with the workshops, the punch needle and the t-shirt workshop. Of course, there is the kids corner. The kids corner will be way bigger this year. There will also be the tandem tours, which we had last year as well. So for people that don't know what the tandem is, try to be on the bike with 2 people in a kind of comfortable manner. And then there will be like a tour on those. Other than that, like something new, there will be dance activities. There will be a bit of like a folk ball. Try to imagine some Jane Austen movie adaptation or Bridgerton, but then a bit more for the plebs.
All right. Any big food trucks coming that people absolutely need to stand in line for?
Like I said, I love food, so I will probably be in line for all of them. There will be a twisted chimney cakes, so that's a bit more of a Central East European specialty, and they will have both sweet and savory ones. Then there will be like a local hot dog bar, which has like very strange kind of hot dogs, but they all look delicious. Haven't tried them out yet. There will be a vegan food truck. So there's also options for people that don't eat meat or like a bit more over the vegetarian side. And there will be a pizza truck, but it will be in a old fire truck. So there will be a wood-fired oven with a fire truck. And of course, a coffee bar. So those are the ones that we have got. So it's a bit small, but we're trying to expand it over the years. And of course, on the park itself, there's also the tea house, which has a nice assortment of food and drinks. And there's also like a bit of a snack bar. Fantasy Park, there's a supermarket nearby, so people won't starve. That's for sure.
I understand Tilburg is like a good place to go for an amusement park, roller coasters, stuff like that. Is there those that are coming a little bit early or staying a little bit afterwards? What's there to do in Tilburg?
So that's not in Tilburg itself, but it's pretty close by. Well, like for you guys in the States, it will be just around the corner. For us, it will be like a bit of a distance. I mean, for us Europeans, distances are slightly different than for you guys, generally speaking.
I've noticed.
No, but there's this amazing amusement park called the Efteling. And it has like a fairy tale forest, which is amazing to bring little kids. And then there's like, Snow White, Red Riding Hood, and all the stories like they've been told. But there's also like rides, roller coasters and stuff. So there's something for all ages. So if you really come a week up front, you could also go. They've got like a bungalow park and a hotel there. I'm not being paid for this advertisement. I just have a lot of good childhood memories from that park. And other than that, of course, the podium you mentioned, the 013 or the 013, they also have amazing concerts. A lot of like famous Dutch artists and also more famous, internationally famous artists are performing there. And the funny name, the name itself, 013, it's the net code for the telephone lines. So if you call someone in Tilburg on the landline, their phone number will start with 013.
Okay.
It's so that's why where the name comes from. Like it has a like lovely shop. It has a bit of my old city center. Then there's the uni, which might be fun to walk around for a bit. And of course, like I said, distances in the Netherlands, they're way smaller than over in the States. So you can also go to neighboring cities. There's Breda, Eindhoven, Den Bosch. And then if you go a bit further out, you've got, of course, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, The Hague, Utrecht, all the other Dutch cities, to be fair. Or you can cross the border and come over here to Belgium. I mean, I definitely recommend Antwerp because I live there. It's so might be a bit biased slightly.
No. Outstanding. Let's see, what else do we got here? Let's get back to that left turn we made earlier here. Honestly, I actually had something similarly questionable for you. I was going to say, like, the point of RedHead Days is everybody gets together, you meet some new people that you've never met before, you reunite with old friends. But, you know, you're that redheaded boy and you see that redheaded girl across the bar there. What should he not do? I was going to save that for last, but what should he just not do up front since things seems to have
I mean, you always can say from, hey, I'm a ginger, you're a ginger, what the fuck? Probably not the best opener. It's no,
you got to admire the direct approach at least. Like that takes some courage to do. Like no one does that.
No, okay, well you can try it, but if the girl says, nah, not really into this, then you should like back off.
I agree with that 1,000%.
I think the basic thing is just treat everyone with the respect that you want to get yourself. If like someone asks you something and you say no, you want them to back off, so you should do the same.
I agree. Boundaries are very good. Yeah, very important even. Has there been a an increase in complaint? I'm guessing there have been complaints, but have there been enough complaints where like now we're handing out business cards with a specific phone number on it?
No, it's something that like that's been rolling out more like
It's just part of the times and
everywhere.
the culture these days.
And I think also like ever since the kind of the Me Too movement,
Okay,
people kind of dare to speak up a bit more.
good.
And of course, we've noticed, and sometimes there are complaints by people being way too drunk and being annoying. And then they've always been escorted, but we just want to make it more accessible for people to step up if they see something that's like that's not acceptable or they don't feel safe themselves.
Mhm.
It's like we're not expecting anything to happen. Let's hope nothing will happen, but it's
Fingers
better
crossed.
to be safe than sorry.
Okay. Wow. I just turned 45 the other day, so the fact like this is a thing now is just yeah, it's unfathomable. But I'm also like I'm sure you're like, yeah, I didn't think it was a thing either until it happened.
No, yeah, like that's the thing. It isn't something new. Unfortunately, it has
Mhm.
always been going on. It's just it's more kind of yeah. It's easier to talk about nowadays, I suppose.
Obviously be respectful, but you know, do you have any dating advice for the lucky redheads out there? Well, the just
No,
like
my
just
God, I suck at dating.
what is the dating scene like in Belgium or the Netherlands these days? Like I've
Uh,
I've done the Tinder thing out there and failed miserably, but it's also like, oh, this is all in Dutch and I can't read it. Ah.
yeah, no, so there's like lots of people that meet on Tinder. But yeah, there's also some people that like met on RedHead days and became a couple. Like 2 years ago, there was also this couple that had met on RedHead days and actually
Oh,
got married. So we've got some like amazing love stories.
that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's cute, it's romantic.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like, but I think it's like we haven't gone to a completely virtual dating scene. Well, honestly,
Thank
anywhere
God.
in the world. Yeah, honestly, I've tried Tinder once, and it's like, well, I don't get it because I want to know more about the person
Hmm.
because a picture doesn't say well shit.
I made one connection on Tinder one time, and then they immediately messaged me, and I was like, "Well, this is we're supposed to meet people. Let's meet people." So we started talking to them, and then about 2 minutes in the conversation, I was like, "Oh, this is a robot. This isn't a real person talking to me here." Because I said one thing, and they gave me a completely different response. Like I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I'm just going
Yeah,
about to walk into the office." She was like, "I take trash out on Wednesdays also."
yeah, but I think that's more like something that they really target on guys. Luckily, that's less of a problem for women. I think it still happens, but never encountered it myself. But also, like, I spent a month on Tinder and I was like, well, not for me. And then I deleted it.
Smart, very smart. I've
Yeah,
this is
no,
based
but
only in San Francisco, but the women will actually like post the complaints about the Tinder experience in their bios, and I'm seeing a lot of things like, "Yeah, hey, don't. I'm not trying to be a pen pal, so if we're gonna meet, let's meet. If we do connect, we should message, but we should also meet." And then I'm not into your weird thing. Lots of I'm not into your weird thing. That's a whole fill in the blank, but
well, I mean, it's not just with Tinder. A friend of mine, she sells secondhand clothes on Vinted. And she got responses from this guy asking her if she had some used, unwashed socks that she could send. And then he would pay a lot of money for it.
guys are weird. I got
Oh no,
no.
human beings in general. It's
Yeah, but I don't see women doing this thing a lot. I see more guys doing that. Yeah, let me borrow your used garment. Um, yeah, guys are weird. I don't even think that's a cultural thing. I think it's just guys are weird. We could be the
I'm still
Netherlands,
putting
we could be
it
in
on the
Turkey.
patriarchal society. No, but yeah, so like back to the meta day is going to be amazing. Hopefully nothing will happen. Going to have a lot of fun. And yeah, like us redheads will feel normal for a change instead of the strange burnout.
I have a fun story. My first year at RedHead days, and I've told this on the Microdose
Mhm.
both times now I've had Redhead Days folks on. So we're doing the bar crawl. I'm with my group, and this lovely British woman is chatting me up. But it's also election year, so she's like, "What about Hillary Clinton? And what about Donald Trump?" And I'm not the guy to talk to about that. I try and deflect, and like, "Oh, I hear Brexit's a thing. What about that?" And then all of a sudden we're walking, and it's just silence. And I went, "Wait, something just happened here." I turn around, and sure enough, the woman I was walking with is now half a block back, and she's confronting a dude. And I'm like, "Oh, better dissolve this real quickly." And I was like, "Hey, what's going on here? What's going on here?" And she's all like, "This guy said, 'What are you people doing here?'" And I was like, "Wait. I'm sure there's a simple miscommunication here. What did you say, sir?" And he was like, "Oh, I just said, 'What are you people doing here?'" And even in his tone, like he said what he said, and he said what she said. But I was also like, I looked around the square, and I was like, "Yeah, there's like 300 redheads in the square, and people haven't like they know something's off, but they can't put their finger on it." And he was literally just like, "What are y'all doing here?" Like, just that's all.
Yeah, no, like I got a question also last year where we're walking around like, what the hell are you guys doing over here? Is this some kind of thing? It's like, yeah, it's the redhead days, and especially like people they just see a bunch of redheads, and like we're only 2% of the world population, so having a few hundred redheads on a square, that's a lot. Yeah, but yeah, she probably just misunderstood. Since
Oh, it's
most people
all
are like,
misunderstanding.
I don't understand what's happening here, and they're just curious.
Yeah. And it is quite a sight. Again, like for that time would be the most redheads I had been surrounded with. Like growing up in school, I was maybe one of two redheads in my actual class, but there's maybe five under the entire roof or the facility. What was your experience like growing up as a redhead?
Well, like at home, I think my mom was the one having a tough time because
Oh.
both my dad, my brother, and me were all redheads, and my mom's a blonde, so she was getting all the stupid blonde jokes. So,
Oh.
like, if she's listening, sorry, mom, love you. It's, but no, yeah, at school, yeah, you would stand out. I think, like, in my final year in secondary school, there was this big picture of the whole year, of the graduating year, and there were like two redheads out like 200 people.
Would you ever get taunted or teased? Would anyone try and bully you? Like maybe you just went to a better school, but
No, but I think that was more of a combination of things. Because like my brother never got bullied. I think part of that was because I was his big sister,
okay.
and I kind of
Fair enough.
scared the bullies off before. Now, like I went to a small town school.
Mhm.
I had red hair. I was a bit too smart as being like a bit of a smartass, and I wasn't from the town itself. Like my parents moved there a few years after I was born, and that whole combination made me like this weird, strange, foreign person.
I remember
Um,
like before my education started, we're talking like between the ages of like 3 and 6. Okay, like I would definitely get made fun of my hair. I'd be called copper top, and I was like, like I know you're being mean to me, but I don't understand why, and I don't understand what's this supposed to do. Like I couldn't be more confused right now if I was that
yeah,
internal about everything as a 3-year-old.
well, I mean, not this weird, but I was in secondary school, and I was on my way back home on my bike, and I was
Mhm.
wearing this big blue bandana. And someone just shouted out Red Riding Hood, and I was like, no, it's blue.
Also stupid. It's Red Riding Hood. The hood is red, not her
Yeah.
hair.
No,
People
but
is
I think
dumb.
there's like some kind of polarized reaction,
Yeah.
or people are like, from, oh no, we've got to bully her. Or there's people, I was on a hike and I ran into some people and they're like, oh, your hair is just like that, like our daughters. Don't you think so? I was like, well, your daughter isn't here. I wouldn't know. Like, it's so beautiful. I get that reaction. Or it's people like, you're a redhead, you don't have a soul. It's like, okay.
Ooh.
It's like there's nothing in between.
So that whole no soul gimmick, I never heard about that before the South Park episode came out.
Yeah.
Have you been experiencing that longer? Because that's been going on 20 years now, actually.
Yeah, well, I'm 30, so
Okay, okay.
uh, no. Yeah, like in secondary
Okay.
school sometimes, not really as like really bullying. It's more like my brother once found a meme from like this ginger guy from wanted to join a jazz band, not enough soul. And he thought it was hilarious and he showed it to my mom. My mom had never heard about the no soul thing. And she was like, oh, that's so funny. It's just like your dad. And me and my brother were like, yeah, you just told us that that doesn't have a soul.
What do you love about being a redhead?
I like being different, and it's like I love
Okay.
when I'm walking in like sunlight and there's like this bit of golden glitter on it. And yeah, so like my hair isn't just like ginger; it's also like quite exploded most
Yeah.
of the time.
Looks great.
So most of the time when I'm complaining about my hair, it's not about the color; it's more like, oh hell,
Yeah.
what happened last night? I didn't do anything but sleep. No, but so in my family, it's quite yeah. It's kind of funny. My grandma is a redhead,
Oh,
and
cool.
so yeah,
That's
she
strong
did
genes.
but my mom is a blonde. But yeah, she passed on the gene to me and my brother. But like her son-in-law is a redhead, and her other son-in-law is a redhead as well. So it's like a thing in my family that it all comes back to redheads. So yeah, like I was kind of used to being around gingers at home at least.
Okay.
For me, it wasn't really that strange, and yeah, I don't know.
That's fun. Only my
So
mom
you,
is a
you have,
redhead in this family. Her mother was a brunette. Her sister's a brunette. Her father's a brunette. My father is a brunette. It so like I didn't have any like other than her just being my mom. I didn't have like any redheaded connection to my mom. And
yeah.
then again, those other four people that I went to school with, I'm like, all right, I don't know, you're cool or you're not. I don't, or you're 4 years older than me. Who cares? When I got to the first Redheads festival and started actually talking to other people, it became clear that like we all shared the same thing in common. Well, one, we all got bullied. The girls got it worse, and usually from other girls, which I found fascinating. Either our bones are made out of paper mache, or we're as strong as like three oxes. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was funny. It was actually just like as a bit of preparation, I was reading through some articles, and there was this article from 1997 where they interviewed redheads,
Okay.
and then they were like, "Okay, so what prejudices have you become up with?" Like, "Oh yeah." So like, as the funny thing was, like the people assume we're nerds because I think that's something that comes across in the media a lot. Um, it's yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you're always some
wait,
nerd named Poindexter. You've
yeah.
got glasses as thick as Coke bottles, and again, like your bones are as hollow as birds. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had classes as a kid, so yeah. No, but so apparently the stereotypes are hot temper, clownish, weirdness, Irishness, not capable of being in the sun, wild women, wimpy men, and intellectual superiority.
Irishness. That's an interesting adjective.
Yes, because actually the highest density of redheads is in Scotland, not in Ireland.
Oh, also interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ireland comes in second, but
But so before I took a DNA test in 2014, I thought I was at least 50% Irish. I would discover I'm way less Irish than I thought I was, a lot by a lot. However, I'm still baffled by like what is Irishness. That's very amusing to me.
honestly,
You don't have
not
an answer.
sure.
Yeah, you don't have an answer
Like,
because
yeah,
that's
I flipped it
not a
back
thing.
for a bit, and yeah, the only people that ever thought I was Irish were American tourists.
Oh, far out.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
of
no,
course.
they happened a few times. And I was like, oh yeah, we really want to take a picture with an Irish girl or an Irish colleague. I was like, well, sure, but not Irish.
Take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Um, per your Facebook profile, you have at least resided in Ireland. How did they take to you? I know we just said there's more in Scotland, but did Ireland like, oh, hey, you're back. Good. Where have you been?
No, that was actually when I told people in the Netherlands that I was moving to Ireland. It's like, oh, you're going back to the mothership. And I was like, yep, hilarious. But no, in Ireland, yeah, no one really reacted to it. It was kind of funny. So I was doing my PhD in the chemistry department in Trinity College in Dublin. And in the chemistry department, I think there were more non-Irish gingers doing a PhD than Irish gingers. Because we
Okay.
had a bunch of Italian gingers, and there was one from Germany, and there was me. And there was like, yeah, there were 2 or 3 Irish gingers. So it's like, yeah, that's kind of strange. It sounds like some positive discrimination almost. No, I don't think anyone really cares about it. It's like, well, you get shouted at less for being ginger, I suppose.
Lisanne,
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you much longer here. What is the number one thing everybody coming to the Redhead Days Festival, listening to this a week in advance before the festival, what do they need to come to the festival for?
Yeah, like one thing,
If you
like
miss
just meet
everything,
redheads and call to the picture, like
no
like
picture.
the picture moment. Of course, that's amazing. I showed the picture last year to all my friends, like, oh yeah, so where's Wally? And but then Ginger Edition. But yeah, it's just like hanging out there, talking to other people. I don't think it's one of the activities itself. It's just being there.
Mhm.
That's amazing. And just, yeah, like having a good time, getting to know new people, uh, have fun.
We're all going to meet in the city center, and then we're going to Sporland Park,
Yeah, sport park. Yeah.
Spore Park. All right, there you go. Lisanne Peters, is there anything you want to plug in your personal life?
No, I'm fine.
That's what's up. All right, folks. You can find out more about the Redhead Days Festival. It is the last weekend of every August. This year it's in Tilburg, Netherlands, between the dates of August 25th to the 27th. And you can find that at Roodharigendag.nl or redheaddays.nl as well. I do some stuff around here. You're listening to the Microdose right now, but we also do another show called the Waffle Box Podcast. It's the people's podcast. It's the best part of Wednesdays. You love us because we do it. We do it because we love you. And we come all the way from the future home of Super Bowl 60. You accept no substitutes because it is the original Waffle Box. And you can find that on YouTube at Waffle Box Pod and et cetera, et cetera. So for Lisanne Peters, thank you for having the least complicated name of all my Redhead Days guests. I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the Bosnet family.
And that's our show.
The funny thing is, my last name is actually pronounced Peters in Dutch.
Peters, oh my God.
No, it's fine. It's like I said, I lived in Ireland for half a decade.
I'm leaving that in then. I'm leaving that all in. Yeah, I butchered Bart's name. I butchered Natalie's last name. So it's only proper that I butchered your name, which was the least complicated of all the names.